Yes, hello and welcome to another episode of the 3inMidfield podcast, the podcast where three friends who have dreams of being professional footballers. That's the way as children when we all discovered food, have their say on the Premier League. I am your host, Kojo, again for another week. I'm trying to take Cahill's spot at this point. Let's just call it what it is, isn't it? I'm trying to be the host. Let him run the thing. He can get involved with the convo and that. But on the real, thank you for joining us today. It's going to be Spurs talk. So when it comes to Spurs talk, I go to certain people for Spurs talk only, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this is the best brother for it. My brother, Darren T. How you doing, bro?
I am well, thank you. Once again, thank you for having me on. It was always an honor and a pleasure, man.
Always happy to have you on. And firstly, I'm gonna do what Kale would have done, innit? So, on a certain day last year, you were talking about, I'm sorry, I have to do it. I have to do it. If Kale was here, it just runs, in it. I have to do what my boy has to do. You were talking, and it's not only you. You turned up. You had the chance to turn up, but you and certain people were talking about, you are going to win the league. And I mean, the season's finished now, the 4th of June, 2021. But what happened, man?
Can I do a line of duty AC12 thing? No comment. Can I do that? Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do your thing.
Nah, to be honest with you, you know what? Yeah, I will say this, right? I will say this. I always stood by what I say. I stand by what I say. I meant it at the time. We were flying. We were going on with things. Yeah. Thanks. Looking down Man United 6-1. We had 4 games in a week, and you understand, and that culminated in licking down Man United. We beat Arsenal, we beat City. Like, we were on crud. Then December, I don't know what the heck happened. It just went downhill. Who would have envisaged that? Honestly, bro. Yeah. Who would have envisaged the capitulation that we suffered from December onwards? Who would have? I don't know. But if you're up there at that time, you're thinking, raw, we are on form. You didn't think City were going to canter the league. No, you didn't. You didn't. You understand? When it happened with Leicester in, 2016, right? They were up there. And I was saying to people, you know what? Leicester, they could do it, and people are like, no. Leicester went and won it, right? It can happen. It can happen. That's why I always stand by what I say. I'm not going to sit here and try and eat humble pie, because that just ain't me. It just isn't me. Like, it ain't. So, boy, if you lot think if you lot watching think I'm coming here to cringe, you're having a laugh. Yeah. Get out of here.
There is, though, yeah. Truth be told, in all seriousness, I should say, the season was a weird one, because when we started the season, Leicester went to the Etihad and absolutely dumped on City. Liverpool, to be honest, Liverpool throughout the season have been very, very poor anyway, but they were suddenly getting hit for 7 at Aston Villa, and then Man United were hit for 6, but obviously by you guys. So, it's one of them ones where let's talk about the downfall. Who is culpable for the downfall? Because I know this discussion is always going to be about, is it the manager? Is it the players? Is it Levy? Is it Enoch? Is it all of them? But I need you to, if you're talking about the ranking, because I feel, for me personally speaking, and this is for Man United as well, for other clubs, players get away with far too much. But for you personally speaking, the ranking of who's made it the worst in this season to the least.
Okay. Right. What I will say is we're rotten from the top down. I tried to see past it for many years. Again, I've said it on podcasts, maybe even this one. I've said it on radio. I said it all over the gaff, right? Commercially, Levy is probably one of the best chairmen in Europe.
Facts.
Commercially. We've got our stadium. Our stadium is a cash cow. Now, bearing in mind, me and you have been there together, right? Yeah. And we saw what time it was when we went to that stadium, bro. Yeah, it was a cash cow. The way it's set, everything's set out for you to spend dough.
Facts.
Right?
That's facts.
But it's beautifully set out. You want to spend that money. You want to just take the money out of start. You know what I mean? Just making it rain.
I was looking at things. I was like, I don't support this club, but damn, I want this. I want this and I want that. It's true.
Exactly. It's all strategically placed from the food courts right down. So the club is a cash cow. Don't think about the long term debt that we have. Right, over $1 billion. At the end of the day, it's long term debt. It's set out over 30 years. Okay, so let's not think about that. We're not in a position of Barca or Madrid or whatever with really bad short term debt. No, commercially, we are set up for decades to come. Do you understand? Financially? So that is why I think he's such a great chairman with regards to that. But at the end of the day, the on pitch investment is poor, to say the least. It's bad. It's bad. The owner investment into the club is bad. Now, I know we need to be a self-sustaining entity, but to have only invested really 15 million of your funds over 20 years, like, come on now, man.
That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. But I've always wondered, because I think if I'm talking about myself and the team that, sort of like United have had and they spent on and all that, Woodward is obviously the forefront of that. We know who Ed Woodward is, and we know who the Glazers are. The Glazers have not communicated for 16 years. Suddenly today, for the first time, they communicated. But within that, we always have to talk about the fact that they've given money to the board and the managers. If some of the managers' signings were allowed to be their signings, they've allowed them to sort of spend their money, but it's obviously been fruitless. So is Levy the chief problem, or is there blame at ENIC in the sense of, if your chairman is not doing the things financially to get the team in a position to actually improve and start competing consistently, maybe they're more to blame than Levy, or am I wrong here?
Do you know what? It's all the same entity as far as I'm concerned. ENIC. So Joe Lewis, Daniel Levy, ENIC as an organization, because that's what Daniel Levy is, part owner of ENIC. I mean, when I say Levy, I really do mean ENIC. Do you understand? It just kind of works hand in hand as far as I'm concerned. So let me just correct myself there and just say it's them. Joe Lewis is the billionaire that controls it. Joe Lewis is the billionaire owner of ENIC. Daniel Levy is part owner of that same company, but Daniel Levy runs the operational activities of Tottenham Hotspur at the end of the day, right? And Joe Lewis and him have to talk about it. So it's just that whole under all of that ENIC umbrella. That's what it is. It's all of them at the end of the day. Yes, I understand it's a business. I understand that they have to try and make profit. But also, I do understand that if you want to make that dough, then there needs to be success on the pitch. If you want to be, I question their ambitions with regards to Spurs on pitch activities. I don't see it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when we had that 2 transfer windows with no players, with no signings.
Yeah.
Like, I was trying to defend all of that stuff, but it's really come back and bitten us on the backside. It really has. Like, the team is stale.
Yes.
The team are demoralized. You can see it by the way we played this season. In fact, you saw it from the Poch era. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You saw it from the Poch era, right? You can see, that they've had enough. A lot of them have just had enough. Like, they do try, and the thing is, think about this, yeah? You're in a job. You're trying, but there's no recognition. There's nothing to boost your morale.
Yes.
That's poor management at the end of the day, and I'm talking from the top. Yep. Jose didn't help. So ranking. So what I would say, I'm gonna rank it this season is ENIC, because they've gone. Because it's 20 years of nonsense, right?
Yep.
this season, Jose, because he started throwing man under the bus. You know, players didn't want to play for him. You know, he just did his typical Jose. It was really time. It was a really good chance to kind of reinvent yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
It was a really good chance because he got new coaching staff in and everything. It was a really great chance for him to do it. And I believed that he would do it. But when push came to shove, you just reverted back to type. And here we are. So it's Enoch, Jose, players. Yes, players need to play. They need to play they need to play and they need to play to the best of their ability. A lot of them weren't. You know, the over-reliance on Harry Kane is enough. It's enough. Like, Harry Kane was by far our player of the season. By far.
Comfortably.
But some of the performances that I was seeing this season, and I'm sure other Spurs fans would agree with me, the Dohertys of this world, the Eric Dyers, and his constant individual errors and ball watching. Go on, sorry, carry on, because I
just want to, because I know you're going to mention the players, and I do want to go on the players, but this kind of links to it. When Mourinho was calling some of these guys out, and he has a track record of doing this, we've known it over the years. Like, for me personally, watching, I'm sitting there and I'm like, not gonna lie to you, a lot of you guys from the outside looking in have let a lot of these fans down far too many times. This isn't a new thing. So like your Lamelas, who hasn't lived up to his potential, lived up to his hype. And I was a big fan of his. I'll go on record and saying that when you signed him, I was jealous. I was pissed off because the talent I saw at Roma made me think that this guy had the ability to want to become one of the best in European football and maybe one of the best and Argentine players of his time, of his generation, because of the quality that he was showing at a young age at Roma. Let down. Aurier, I think to be fair, a lot of us kind of knew what Aurier was about even before he joined Spurs anyway. So that's fine. Your Ben Davies, mediocre player, not expecting too much, but hasn't lifted any sort of heights. Dyer's another one. Again, I'm gonna look like a fool for saying this. When Dyer signed to you guys, I was angry because I'm not a fan of Sporting Lisbon. I'm not a supporter, but I do enjoy watching them over the years. And when you signed him, I saw a good player as a defensive midfielder, but he hasn't improved. Your Davinson Sanchez I don't know who else. I'm not going to mention everybody. I'll just put those names down. I know most of them are at the back line. So, can you see why maybe Jose wanted to dig those guys out, and also how like Kane was saying, for example, that he just wanted the players to be quote unquote men. He wanted them to level up, or do you think that he just had to now realize, which a lot of people also criticize him for, is recognize the team you're working with and just adapt to finding other ways of bringing them up?
I do think he needed to adapt. Some of the players he was throwing under the bus, i.e. Delhi, was just like, this is uncalled for, man. It was unwarranted, man. Delhi's consistently been one of our best performers for a good few years now. So we've got to, but and Don Belly as well, because he was throwing him under the bus quite a lot. From the beginning. Do you remember? Like, he was saying a lot about Ndombele, and yeah. I thought that was counterproductive, to be honest with you. Now, I don't mind you singling out the team and saying, look, we played rubbish and we were terrible. And, man for man, it was poor. But at the end of the day, like, I thought it was what Jose was doing was counterproductive. It didn't work at Man United, and it wasn't going to work here. However, yes, there are there's so many bad performers at Spurs right now. So many bad performers. Like, the last person you mentioned was Davinson Sanchez. I had really high hopes for him.
Yeah.
Really high hopes for him. Do you understand? Like, I saw potential in him, a great potential in him, and I thought, you could really go on to be a real great for us. if you just continue to learn and improve. And he's just stayed static. And that's the thing. He hasn't learned. He's the same, pretty much the same guy he was when he was at Ajax. The same guy with those errors, And I think he tries to do too much and he thinks too hard about defending. And I just don't. I defended him for so long, and I can't really do that anymore. I've seen too much. Like, really only at the back, only the back line, the only ones at the back line that I'd like, really like. Would I say big up? But I'm not too fussed with a Toby and Roden. And even Toby made his mistakes, but he's getting older. I always thought Toby and Joe Roden would be were our best centre-back pairing.
I hear that.
But I don't know why we bought Joe Roden if we're not going to use him. But
this is the thing, because that summer you were linked with both Ruben Dias and Milan Skriniar from Inter Milan. Yeah. Two men who have gone on to win their league titles. One in Italy and one here. So, and this is where now comes the question, because I feel like Mourinho has to take a part in this blame for himself, personally speaking. Is your previous two clubs, because now Tottenham is one of his previous clubs, your previous two clubs have owners or have chairmen that have a record of not backing managers in key moments, or not backing them in the transfer window, regardless of whether the moment is. I think we've all seen that Spurs defensively, because obviously Vertonghen has now left and Alderweireld is aging. Naturally, you will lose your powers. If a manager of a caliber comes and says, I want this guy and this guy to improve my defense, surely the board has to say yes. But is that also kind of... But basically what I'm trying to say is maybe Mourinho wasn't the best fit for Spurs, because they weren't going to back him. If they weren't backing Pochettino after what he done, what chance did Mourinho have?
You would have thought they would have backed him. You bring in a manager of that caliber, you think he's going to be backed. Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. You would think that he's going to be backed, innit?
This is my problem, because
you would think so,
Yeah.
But they must have been the conversation between Jose and Daniel Levy before Jose signed that contract, and there must have been assurances. Shut up, Sam. But yeah, shut up, Sam. I invited this guy to my wedding. I regret it now, Sam.
Anyway. Wow.
This guy, he's the one who brought me. If it wasn't for him, I won't be on all these podcasts,
I'll say.
If it wasn't because he brought me on D&D Footy Factory, big up the man, he brought me on D&D Footy Factory, and from then it's just kind of gone on from there. And it's Sam that kind of invited me, and all he does is just like shoot Tottenham down. You understand? That's all he does. Does it on radio. He's doing it on here now. Does it on Twitter or on Facebook. He's just shooting man down, like all the time. Sam, man, allow me, man, allow me. Shut up. Killing me all the time. Yeah, I forgot your question, but I just I think what I was saying, there's got to be a conversation. There's had to be a conversation in those negotiations between Levy and Jose's representatives, or Mourinho himself, and Levy would have given assurances of him being backed. I would hope so. But the question is, because we don't know for sure, but did Levy backtrack on what he said? I'm kind of thinking yes.
I'll add a question into that. Do you think COVID played a part into that? Because then your plans got to change. Naturally, financially, you're losing out on financial. You're losing out on shirt sales because people can't come into the store and collect merchandise, and obviously Spurs fans can't attend games. Do you think maybe that's why he wasn't backed as strong as he could be? Because you made a lot of loan to buys, rather than permanent signings. Could that be a factor? Maybe COVID?
Probably, you're right. Levy will use that excuse, blatantly use that excuse.
Oh, 100%.
Blatantly use that. Of course, he will use that excuse as to why. But, it kind of went on from, to be honest with you, really, like, these are mistakes of the past. These are things that should have happened already. So, he's still to blame in that aspect because he should have done it a long time ago. When there was no COVID and there were fans, packing out 80,000 at Wembley and stuff, you still weren't spending. Do you know what I mean? So, like, you just don't, like I don't know what being tight in this game is not the one.
Nah.
Being tight in the Prem is not the one. And I'm not saying sink us into insolvency because I've seen that already with Tottenham. We almost went downhill back in the day with Terry Venables and Irving Scholar, for those of you that are old enough to remember, right? I've seen that before, and I've seen us being stabilized, and that's why I back Levy for so long, because I've seen us in the doldrums financially. We could have lost our club, right? Alan Sugar came along and stabilized it, and then Levy's taken it to the next level. Do you understand? He's taken us to where we're competing financially, commercially. But again, on the pitch, we need to be doing the same thing. When is it going to happen? Because it has to happen. And I'm not saying spend £250 million on crap, right? But at the end of the day, it does have to happen. When we were supposed to buy Bruno Fernandes, it didn't happen, right? When we were supposed to buy Dybala, it didn't happen over image rights, right? There's countless players we should have got, and we're just like that coulda, woulda, shoulda club because Levy and his tightness and he's hardballing in the negotiations. It's harming us as a club on the pitch.
I mean, you said those names, and it's just hitting me that if you had actually signed Dybala, Bruno Fernandes, Skriniar, and Diaz, your team would be very, very different right now. Because, I mean, obviously, Bruno does get a lot of goals from United. He wouldn't be the penalty taker. Harry Kane would obviously still be there. But just his ability to score from midfield, Paulo Dybala is... I can't lie to you, I'm a bit 50-50. Extremely quality player, but for the stat lovers, his numbers are not as great as you want them to be. But technically, he's superb.
Yeah, technically, he's great. And the thing is about Bruno, right? See what I loved about Bruno at Sporting Lisbon. I'm not going to turn around and tell you like I watched the Portuguese league week in, week out, right? I had to sit there and study what this guy was about, right? When we were linked with him. And he was one who used to bang outside the box, like all the time, bang outside the box, just shoot, and he had a pass on him, and he could, I wouldn't call him a playmaker as such, but he can really help. He can, would I say dictate midfield? Would you say that? Dictate midfield?
Yeah, right. I think he actually does. But a lot of people tend to disagree with that. A lot of people think he does nothing for about 70 minutes, and then
I hear that. But the thing is as well, it's about mentality. And that's another thing. Bruno's mentality is a winning one, right? Because Bruno's come in, and one of the main reasons why Man United finished second is because Bruno is there. Do you understand? Yeah. Because of his mentality, because he galvanizes that midfield, he's galvanized that team, right? Yeah. And he don't accept second best. Do you get what I'm saying? When you lost 6-1 to Spurs, you could have capitulated. But he wasn't having none of it.
That's true.
Like, that's what I see in Bruno. I'm blatantly jealous of you lot with Bruno Fernandes. You know what? If you're listening, Bruno, come to death row, man. Come to death row, man. Sure. Leave Ole alone, man.
Let's not talk about that guy today, please. I'm gonna bring up this comment, and it's gonna lead on to what I want to talk to you about next, which is the comment from Big One. Shout out Big One. Is I think Spurs' best signings have been gems they've uncovered, e.g. Son, Ali, Modric. The big name signings haven't worked out. So, with that, you are signing a new director of football in Fabio Paratici. I hope I said his name right. That's how you spell it in English. But he's Italian, so I know there's definitely something special to his name. But I'll just say some of the names. So he's got a lot of free signings in there. Pogba was a free signing that he brought in, made 89 million profit, as we all know. Aaron Ramsey, Rabiot, are some names you mentioned there. And then in terms of big name signings, Matthias de Ligt, Cristiano Ronaldo is the obvious one. So the track record is good. If I'm being honest, I think the track record is really good. I think Juventus, obviously, you've seen their success over the last 10 years. So they've had good teams. Andrea Pirlo is another signing as well. That's another one I wanted to mention as well, as a player, not as a manager. With that kind of track record and knowing Levy's track record with transfers, how important is this signing for Spurs?
Majorly important. Reason being is because Levy loves that. He loves that, minimum spend. So if you can uncover those gems, as Big Ron said, more of those gems, Levy will love him, absolutely love him. But I do think there needs to be a mix. There needs to be a mixture. I do think you can't just rely on those, because some of them will fail. So you need to have that mixture of those big signings. If we're going to be an elite club, we need to have elite signings. That's what I will say.
But do you think? I wanna say it's sort of like a is elite signings the way to go? And when I say that, obviously you want your signings to be on point. But what I mean by that is, when you say elite signings, you mean by spending big and bringing literally what we know so far as the established, some of the best players in football right now, or is it sort of like a smart spend where they find a player, they might spend a bit of money, but they find someone who is a bit unknown but surprises people? What are you looking for? Are you looking for that statement signing, or are you looking for them to maybe just find gems that maybe you buy, maybe you sell them on later on? What's the ideal?
Again, I'd say a mixture of everything, but you need to make one or two. Do you understand?
Okay.
It'd be nice to have a Van Dijk type signing. Do you understand? Because look what Van Dijk did to Liverpool.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have a. Would you call Bruno Fernandes an elite signing? As in,
for me personally speaking, yes.
I kind of think so.
Yeah.
We could have got him on the cheap as well. That just annoys me even more. Right? We need those. We need those. We need a couple. I'm not saying across the board. You need to have that mixture, but it boosts morale as well. Don't get it twisted. It boosts morale. There's been murmurs. Remember, Danny Rose has been saying that for a long time. Like, I disagreed with him at first. I was cussing him at first, but he's got it spot on. Like, he has to Google certain man when they were signing them. You can't do that all the time. And to boost team morale, you want to play with the best. If you want to be the best, you want to play with the best. Harry Kane wants to play with the best.
He does.
And it would help him. It would have helped his morale to see us make those statement signings, to see us signing a Dybala, to see us signing a Diaz, to see us signing a Fernandes. He would have loved that. You get what I'm saying? But instead, we're still here sitting with Eric Dyer and Harry Winks. We're still sitting with Winks and Sissoko in our midfield. Yeah. Like, if I'm playing, right? And trust me, players talk, Players talk. Players know who's crap from who's not, right? If I'm playing and I'm saying raw, like, and I'm watching everything go on everywhere else, and I turn around and I look at Winks, and then I turn to the right and I look at Sissoko, I'm thinking raw.
Yeah.
But nothing's going on for me around here, though. Why am I doing this, though? Like, the amount of stuff that Harry Kane's had to do, to drop back. And the reason he's had to drop back into midfield is because he's getting no service himself, though. You get what I'm saying?
He's providing the service. He scored the most goals and provided the most
assists.
Yeah.
Because we ain't got anybody else to do it. Like, it's great on Harry Kane, but it's a sad indictment on the rest of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. But we can say the same. It's mainly can say Bruno Fernandes as well.
He can be frustrated, but listen. Anyway, what I think about United is I think they've got they got a good team. I think they got a very good team, but they just blow hot and cold a lot of the time. Man for man, they're better than us. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't particularly know about that, but before we move on to the next question, quickly, just a side note question, so I'll go through that now. Try and dip on Sharma, who's watching, Chelsea fan, just asking, do you think Kante would deserve the Ballon d'Or this year?
If he gets it, I'm not going to be mad.
That's it.
If he gets it, I'm not going to be mad. Another question is, do I really care? Chelsea, man, do I care?
That's the Spurs fan telling you. That's right. The Spurs fan. Me personally, I just say if they win the World Cup and he's got a keeper to play in that, then give it to him. But until that happens, football's football.
Sorry, Mr.
United signed Pogba, Maguire. Fans still ain't happy. Big names can lead to big disappointment.
They can, but be astute with it, innit? Like, be astute. When you did sign Pogba, Pogba was on stuff. Do you understand?
He was.
I personally think he's not done well at United, right? Maguire was stupid. Let's be real. Maguire was stupid. Who's paying £80 million for my man, though?
Yeah.
Do you understand? You've got to make astute signings. This is why, what's his name? Was it Paratici is coming in to make those astute signings and to amalgamate them with those world-class signings as well, and to make it gel. And let's hope the synergy's right within the team. Right? I'm not just saying just throw the money out there and say, yo, look, this is, he's world-class. If you don't fit the team, you don't fit the team.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, you mentioned Maguire, but spending £80 million on Maguire was madness.
Yeah.
And yes, Prime Toby easily over Harry Maguire. That's not even you understand? That's a no-brainer.
What is about Harry Maguire? I don't want to go into it now, so I'm just going to end this quickly. But the thing about Harry Maguire is he's actually done quite well, especially this season. Anyway, he's had a very good season, but that transfer fee is always going to haunt him, and it's not even his fault. He doesn't play a part in how much the club value him and all that kind of stuff. But that's going to follow him for the rest of his career. So for you guys, until he wins a league and maybe a Champions League, and it's obviously the leader and the captain. Until then, they're not gonna really, follow him. Let's see this from Big Ron. Astute signings are tricky. Leicester make it look easy. Leeds splashed out on Rodrigo, but Rafinha was the gem. It happens. It happens. I can tell you a lot of times when United spent money on. We spent 30 million on Veron. I don't think it was a dud, but obviously didn't work out to the best of his ability. And Barcelona signed Coutinho for £142 million.
Yeah,
you see how that turns out.
You thought he would. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So and of course, people in the comments, if you want to join the show, please just ask me for the link and I'll send it to you then because you double D, bro.
Man. Jump in, man. Jump in. We want to
join the conversation. Exactly. Join the conversation. It is about Spurs, but obviously we will delve into other things.
We can talk about whatever, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's football talk.
Man.
It's football talk. Now, the season's done. We know where you guys finished. Let's go into the transfer window. Conte. Now, let's talk about Conte first. Now, I hope I'm right. It's either 5 titles it'll be the same thing in either 9 years or his last 9 seasons. I can't remember how long he's been in and out of a job for. He was part of that.
5 titles in 7 years, I think it is.
If it's 7 years, that's even more impressive. So you're talking about Chelsea, you're talking about Inter Milan, Juventus previously as well, and we all know what he did with Juventus and how they dominated under his tenure and after with other managers as well. Now, some of your fans, actually no, your fans were 50-50 on Mourinho. On Conte, what's the bracket? What are you saying?
Do you know I say still 50-50 because if it wouldn't be, but because Poch's name was mentioned, right? People started getting all right. I tweeted yesterday, right? You can find it at Mr. Darren _T, right? Mm-hmm. But cool. Don't be shy, man. Let's talk, man.
Oh, big one. Anytime, but you're always welcome. Anytime, honestly, that's not a problem.
But yeah, no. The thing is, right? I tweeted basically. There's two types of Spurs fans at the moment: the progressives, Conte in brackets, Conte, and the sentimentals, Poch in brackets. That's where we are right now. right? There's some people who tweeted that, but there's a number 3, the pessimists or the realists or whatever you want to call them. Maybe, but those are the 2 type of Spurs fans I've seen for the last few days, because obviously Poch was mentioned first, right? And then people were just, what's the thing with the heart? What's the emoji with the hearts in the eyes? That's what people were
the love eyes, yeah.
It's just like, I'm just like, come on, man. Let's be real about the thing. Number 1, it's too soon for him to come back. Number 2, we've forgotten that the last 18 months of his tenure was poor. The Champions League final only papered over the cracks, but then we got to the Champions League final. When that whistle blew, we were terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We were terrible. And that just didn't change. It was poor. Right? So yes, he played good football, but it's not 2016-17 again. I don't want him back yet. I don't dislike the man. I've got love for him and Jesus Perez and the rest of the man them, but no, it's like going back to your old chick that like kind of broke your heart, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that. I'm not here for that. Right? Conte, the moment never. Sorry, Ron. No. Again, I've got love for him and thing like that. Again, I've got love for him, but no. No. Sorry, no, not Harry Mason. I'm not Ryan Mason. He's not ready, because you know what? That's worse than Lampard. Do you understand? And I'm sure I've been on there and given my Frank Lampard.
You told us about Lampard. You said he would be sacked ASAP.
Yeah.
No delay.
Only thing is, I wish he wasn't, because Chelsea went and won the Champions League. But yeah, it was like, I know it was kind of obvious that he weren't ready. Ryan Mason's even less ready. You just need to cut your teeth elsewhere. Like, in the lower leagues, the Championship or somewhere, just cut your teeth. You'll be great. As I said that about Lampard as well, you'll be great, but it's just not. You understand, these big Premiership jobs? Nah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was saying now. I can't remember what I was saying. What was
about
Conte, Poch, yes, Poch and Conte. Yeah. So yeah, Poch, no. Definitely no. I'm sorry. I just don't think it's. The thing is, people say they want him back in the future. I don't.
Not at all.
I think that ship is sailed. I don't think that ship is sailed. People are being too sentimental about it. We love him. Yes, we love him. Yes, we can love him from a distance, man.
But is that because of the last 18 months that you feel like, okay, listen, that happened. He obviously didn't have the squad anymore. What's the feeling behind that?
Yeah. That last 18 months and also the thing is, number 1, yeah, he had his chances. He had plenty of chances. How many semi-finals and how many finals? We got to at least one League Cup final, one Champions League final.
Yep.
We lost both. We lost how many semi-finals? He couldn't get it over the line.
That's true.
And at the end of the day, like, as much as you love the individual, I'm here for Tottenham.
I hear that.
I didn't see Tottenham win anything under him. I'm not. It's no indictment on his management or on him as an individual. But when push came to shove, he couldn't do it. Do you understand? He couldn't do it. So why would I go back to that? I want glory. I want trophies. I want those magical European nights again. Right? I want those things. I'm sick and tired of watching Leicester win the FA Cup, Leicester win the league, Chelsea win the Champions League, Liverpool beat us in the final. I'm sick of all of that stuff. Where is our thing, man? Do you understand? And why would I want the man that couldn't deliver it? I don't want that.
Yeah.
But then you got Conte, right? And I'm not saying he's guaranteed to work, but the track record is there for all to see. The proof is in the pudding. 5 league titles and 7 in 7 years, right? When I really was jealous of clubs that had Conte was when he took Chelsea from 10th and changed it to 3 at the back and then won the title. Man went on the dirtiest run. And I'm thinking, raw, this guy is a madness. And from that day, I've just admired him. I've admired him.
Okay.
And for him to be linked with my club, even though they're talking the talk now that he might not come, yeah, I'm on my knees out here, star. I am on my knees. That brother needs to come. I don't care. Like, before, I was kind of like, before, I was just, when we got rid of Mourinho, I was happy we got rid of Mourinho. I was waiting for the manager. I wasn't impatient about it, as impatient as others.
Yep.
But now you're linking us with Conte. Nah. Do you know what? I'm raggle. I'm shameless when it comes to him. I am shameless.
I hear that.
I am absolutely shameless when it comes to him. Like, I did want, like, a Graham Potter, I think would be a good coach for Tottenham as well, right? But the moment you mention Conte's name with Spurs, I'm sorry, Graham, you understand. You have to step back. Like, I don't business, and I don't care. I am shameless. Don't at me and tell me about, well, you said this and I don't care. I'm shameless when it comes to Conte, because I wanted him for years at Tottenham. I've watched him go everywhere and bust it up. I want him at my club. Yeah. Why is man telling me to come outside? Come outside for what? I'm here.
It was funny. You put in caps after as well. He's like,
yeah, I'm here, innit? I'm here. What do you want? What do you want? I've said what I've had to say, family. So, at the end of the day, like I say, like, if I'm saying something, I'll say it. Look. I am shameless when it comes to Conte. I don't care. I'm on Twitter and I'm getting all slyly excited. Like, I'm going to tell you this: if we do not get Conte, it will break my heart. How's about that? Yeah. Like I said, don't at me and tell me about you're being this and being that and emotional rags. I am when it comes to Conte. I'm telling you, I wanted this guy at my club for so long. Shameless.
All right. So let's put the hypothetical out there. If it falls through, because Paratici is coming through whether he's there or not. Yes, they have a relationship. Yes, they worked wonderfully well at Juventus. But and Double D is saying, well, you better prepare to have your heart broken then, because
it's done. Just get step away, man. Please leave me. But give me a weekend, man. Cha.
If Conte was, and I'll put the comments on the other guys as well. Don't worry, guys, I'm coming up. But if Conte wasn't to come in, and I know you're not interested in Pochettino yourself personally, is there ever any other manager that you look out there where you're like, I feel like I can depend on you to come to this team and do something different?
I am part of the Graham Potter fan club.
Oh, yes, that will make Patrick very happy to hear. Why is that?
We've spoken about it on Twitter.
Okay.
Look how he's got Brighton playing. Look how he's got Brighton. The only reason Brighton weren't up there was because they had no goal scorers. You can't rely on Aaron Connolly, Danny Welbeck, and you thought you'd be able to rely on Neil Maupay. Like, but
he's not prolific.
No, he's not. He's a championship guy. That's what I would say. You understand? So that's why. But they played us off the park twice this season. They played a lot of teams off the park. Right? What he did with Austrians, right? This is stuff of legends.
Am I supposed to be Denise? Is it?
It's like a one-to-one intervention. No, it ain't, bro. No, it ain't. We're just talking football, man. Jump on the thing if you want to chat to, man, innit?
Like I said,
jump on the thing.
You guys are always welcome to come onto this show, and this is a free talk. That's what I'm saying. Like, please, we're talking football here.
Yeah.
But yes, please.
If you want smoke, though, I'm here for it. I want you to know that if you want smoke, I am here. Yeah. I have been on smoke for well over 25, 30 years. Yeah, I have been on smoke. Yeah. You think I'm not seasoned in this thing? Come on, sir. Anyway.
But yeah, you're talking about Graham Potter. So yes.
You know what it is? It's because you know what? Then you get him in, it's a long-term project for him.
Right.
Do you understand? But the way we play, if he gets the, better players. Obviously, we're not going to have Harry Kane anymore. Let's be real. We're not going to have him anymore. I doubt that, especially if Conte don't come in. If, but he, you got between him and, I don't know how it's going to work between him and, I can't pronounce the guy's name. Paratici.
So yeah, because I don't want to say he's trying to say his name in Italian.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say Paratici. That's definitely how it's spelled.
Yeah, Paratici.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting Paratici because that's how the Italians kind of usually pronounce the C's.
Okay,
cool. Yeah, that's how I'm kind of running it. But at the end of the day, I don't know how it's gonna work. Does he work well with the director of football? Does he want sort of complete autonomy? I don't know. But I'm just talking in terms of style of play and the fact that he can build. He's already built a club from nothing to something.
Yeah.
You give him that project, and I think good things will happen. That's what I honestly do believe.
Okay.
It's only about his recruitment and who he wants and stuff like that. But if you got the director of football there, then it is what it is. And yeah, double. Maybe I may agree. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how fed up Kane is. Because at this point, you got to be screwed. You got to be fed up, innit? Like, you're always the bridesmaid, innit? Like, if it's, it depends whether Pep comes calling. Sorry. Oh my gosh, this guy. Sorry.
So okay.
But yeah. Sorry. But yes.
So Harry Kane then. Go briefly on that because obviously I think a lot of us will say what we need to that's needed to be said about Harry Kane in terms of why would he stay at Spurs? He's doing all of this scoring, he's creating, he's doing so much, and he's getting no reward in terms of accolades, in terms of trophies. Individuals, yes, but as a team, and he wants to succeed at Spurs. At the end of the day, he has succeeded personally, but he wants the team to but anyway, we digress. If Kane is to move, for you personally, putting all rivalries aside and all of that, where would be the best move, do you think?
Manchester City.
That's that simple.
Manchester City. Simple. Number one, he ain't moving to no damn Chelsea. So Chelsea fans, sit yourselves down, yeah? Don't come and run up in these comments talking about he's going Chelsea. He ain't going no Chelsea, right? Number two, Man United. They're not ready. Yeah, whatever, Endo, man. Come on, man. Was he going to go towards somewhere worse? Yeah? Who can't even afford...
They actually are worse. Why do you think United wouldn't be able to get coming from?
Do you know why? Because I feel like they're still a work in progress.
Okay.
I think they're a better side than a lot of people give them credit for. But I don't think Ole's the greatest manager to manage Harry Kane.
No, I agree.
I don't think that if he goes there, he's going to win something like the Champions League. I can't see it at United. I cannot see it.
Right.
You might challenge for the title. You might. But with Tuchel signing his 2-year contract, Chelsea on a high, Liverpool, the resurgence in Liverpool, because I can see that. Yeah, they just had bad season with injuries. They'll come back. And Manchester City, I can't see United winning the title, even with Harry Kane. He'll bang the goals, but ultimately, I think your defense will probably let them down.
Okay.
Manchester City is ready perfectly. Is perfect for Harry Kane. He gets all the service he requires. He expends less energy because he doesn't have to drop into midfield and be our number 10 as well as our number 9. Right? He's already expressed that he wants to play with Kevin De Bruyne. He gets service from Kevin De Bruyne. He gets service from Mahrez. He gets service from Sterling. He gets service from Gundogan. He gets service all over the gaff. He gets service from Edison. Do you understand?
Bernardo, Kyle Walker.
Come on, man.
Come
on, man. Like, it's a no-brainer. If you want to go anywhere, right? Yeah.
But do you not worry? Do you not worry as a league rival in terms of obviously it's not title race rivals, but you still, when it comes to Man City versus Tottenham, because you've had exciting games, very exciting games in the last, well, I'll say last 10 years. From the time when Crouch scored that header to get you guys into the Champions League to now, you know, do you think, because I'm just trying to think, if he was to go there, do you not think that kind of rules out a title race for about at least 4 years?
Yes.
Are you comfortable with that?
No, but what else can I do? We failed him as a club. We failed him. What else can I say? What else can I do? Like, I'm thinking. I'll tell you this much. I'm thinking with my football agent's head on, right? That if he's my client, I'm telling him, you go off and join Pep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm lobbying Pep to go and if I'm his agent, right? I'm lobbying Pep for him to join City. It's perfectly built for him. It's ready made for him. And the thing is, we have to think about this, yeah, that it's their job. Football is their job. They love it, but it's also their job. But you want to come out of that job. This is a job where you can have lots and lots of, team accolades. You can be proud of that career. Will he be proud of the career at Tottenham? We sit there, don't win anything, and just lose a bag of finals and semi-finals. We were this close to the Champions League, and we couldn't do it. Right? So, yeah, this brother's just chatting fraff. He's chatting fraff. Yeah,
one.
Yeah. So, but he's gonna go. He'll go to City. Where else can he go? Like Barcelona, Real Madrid are work in progress. They can't afford him. They're broke.
They can't afford it. They're in trouble right now.
Yeah, exactly. Does he want to go and win the French league?
What if it brings him closer to winning a Champions League? Do you think he would consider a Bayern or a PSG?
Bayern, yes. PSG, no. But Bayern have Lewandowski, who seems to be ageless, and
True.
He's getting a year older, so he might bang 40 goals instead of 50 next season.
Yeah.
But that's really about it. And Bayern won't pay that money. They never pay that money for players, man. They just raid their own league, innit? That's all they do. Raid their own league for that. So it came to Bayern is just a straight no. I'd be very surprised if they came in for Kane. But Lewandowski is a gunman anyway, so it don't matter. But yeah, City, yeah. Chelsea might actually offer the money, but we wouldn't sell him to Chelsea either. We wouldn't sell him to Chelsea.
Do you not think you would? You wouldn't. Well, I mean, like, why? Actually, no. The question is, why do you think you wouldn't? Because you've mentioned Levy, and I understand the rivalry and I understand, but money talks in football. And if Chelsea were to give a substantial offer, and when I say substantial, I'm not talking like 100, because 100 is not going to be enough to get Kane. I think it's going to be like 100, between 120 to 150. If they were to make a bid within that region, though, and it was a bid that made sense, do you not think Levy would say, you know what, let's take that fee?
I hope not. I can't speak for him on that aspect, but I hope not. Because we don't. Historically, there's not many Spurs. There's not many transfers between Spurs and Chelsea players.
That's true. Yeah.
Historically, so let's keep it that way, please.
You're not. Yeah, I'll pull this comment up because I've saw this link and I don't want to say it smells of Mourinho, because the thing about Conte is some of the players that he signed for Inter Milan last summer and in January, people looked at them being like, what's going on here? I'm talking your Ashley Youngs and Sanchez's. I'm talking your Darmians. Eriksen's a good player, so there's no issue with Eriksen. But the question was, Eriksen, because he hadn't performed for Spurs for a while, was that a smart signing, so on and so forth. But we laugh at Matic being linked with him. But if you consider the players, Victor Moses being another one, that have gone there, that are finished, and they've somehow rejuvenated themselves with one title, Matic doesn't sound like, I mean, it sounds bad in terms of his form for United, but Conte could probably be the guy to rejuvenate him once again. Am I wrong?
Maybe, but we've got Højbjerg, and I like Højbjerg. I don't care what Spurs fans say. I like Højbjerg. And the thing is, Højbjerg got that mentality as well. That's an important thing. And I think Conte will probably put work on, Højbjerg's weaknesses and turn him into a better player. Because, all right, look at what Lukaku said about Conte.
Right.
Yeah. When he said he just drilled it into him. Like, what was it? He's pinning a player, he's pinning a defender, and he was just drilling into him how to spin this defender. I think that's what it was anyway. Tell me if I'm wrong, right? Please, in the comments, tell me if I'm wrong. But he was drilling something into him and it's turned him into a beast, man. And Lukaku thanks Conte for it. So the thing about Conte is that he will turn you into a bad man. Do you understand? You could be mediocre, he could turn you into a bad man, but he also works on that team's strengths and provides the system that works well for that particular team.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that's the greatness of him. Honestly. So no, I don't want Matic. No, I don't. I think we can do it with Højbjerg personally. And the thing is, Oliver Skip's coming back as well.
I'm a fan of his. I actually do like him.
He's in the Championship Team of the Year, and he was Norwich's Player of the Season. Okay, like he can do a job. So we're good. Do you understand? I think Højbjerg and Oliver Skip are more than enough. Personally, what we need is creativity in our midfield more than anything.
I was really surprised that you guys. I was actually very surprised that you guys loaned out Oliver Skip, if I'm being honest, because Mourinho, I really liked him. But I guess obviously you want him to be going again consistent first team football, and he wouldn't have got that at Spurs. But
yeah,
I was surprised. I was surprised that he got sold and we got loaned out because he spoke highly of him from early because he liked what he saw of the kid. But look, it's good that his loan was very successful, as you saw. Norwich are coming back to the Premier League, and he played a big part in that, as you alluded to him being their Player of the Year. And bear in mind, Pukki was still scoring goals. Buendia was having a hell of a season for Norwich again. So the fact that he stood out amongst that amongst those guys and who are favourites at the club, they're not even like players that have been there for a year and they get sold on because they had a good year. They are established favourites, Pukki and Buendia. So the fact that he got that respect, it does say something. Let's have a bit of fun here. I've done this with a lot of fans of clubs, bar City and local fans, because quite frankly, I don't really their club. They're fine. They're fine. Forget about them. This is basically a sell or keep, and I want to go through the squad because you're not gonna make 15 sales in one summer. Impossible. But it's a work in progress, and it will lead to the next question. So I'll just say the name, and you just say keep or sell. Laurie.
Do you know what? I was a big, massive sell. I have been for years. Part of me thinking, you know what? Maybe because he had such a good season, I'm thinking keep him. Really.
Okay.
I don't like his individual errors, but I think keep him one more season, especially if Conte comes. Please, Lord. But
okay.
yeah, I think so. I can't believe I'm saying that.
But keep. Okay. Joe Hart.
What's the point, man? What's the point?
I was thinking you guys got Alfie Whiteman. He's a young guy.
Yeah.
But I think he's
experience in it. So.
Okay. Sell for Toby Alderweireld.
One more season.
Okay.
Yeah,
Davinson Sanchez.
Bye.
He has to go.
Yeah, sell.
Yeah. Sergio Aurier.
Sell.
Ben Davies.
Sell.
Tanganga.
Keep. Oh no. No.
Doherty.
See you later, Gary.
Do you not think he'll
Gary?
do more?
See Gary, Matt. Sorry, see. I always get mixed. Matt and Gary. Yeah, later.
Yeah.
No, he won't. I don't know what question you got asked, but no.
I have to ask a question. I'm sorry, I have to, because at Wolves, I hate saying this because for me, playing right back and playing right wing back, I understand it's different, but it's not that different. But when he played with a three at the back and as a wing back at Wolves, he excelled. Conte, who likes to play three at the back, do you think there's a chance that Doherty could actually excel under him, or do you think it's just time's up?
He was so bad. He was so bad. I'm not really here to touch that's the problem with us. We give it let's give it one more season. Look at Eric Morello. Let's give it one more season. 8 seasons later. Yeah, man. If you're not performing, bounce, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, so he's out. Regular.
Keep. He had a bad second half of the season. Really bad. But, man, he's got base level talent there, man. Honestly.
Yeah. That Woody believes that Conte will make Doherty flourish. It's an interesting one. I also think another one they need to watch out for is Ryan Sessegnon, but we'll come to that.
Thank you, because this Hoffenheim, he was doing all right at Hoffenheim. I'll listen to Double D on this because I respect his opinion, just like I respect yours, Kojo. But like I listen to your opinion. Maybe you might be right, Dan, but boy, I'm not here for you know what I mean. And boy, he
has let you guys down. To be fair, so Rodon, I think that's a keep.
Nah, man, keep that guy, man. He's the future.
This should be interesting. Harry Winks.
Laters, man. Again, I've defended him for way too long. Way too long. I don't know what it is with him. He's not a number 6. I think he's more of a number 8. Yeah.
Okay.
But nah. He's just not done it in the first team.
No, he hasn't. Eric Lamela, when we just spoke about him.
Listen, you asked me this in 2015, 16, I would have told you the same thing I'm telling you now. Sell.
Yeah, this one, I don't even want to say his name. Eric Dyer. I didn't want to say it, but I have to.
There's not one Spurs fan that wants to keep Eric Dyer, unfortunately.
Musa Sissoko.
His time's up. Sell.
Okay. Dele Alli.
Ooh. I'm erring on sell. I'm erring on sell.
Okay.
I am erring on sell. The reason being, okay, again, I'm putting my agent's head on that I just think he's not that he's rubbish. It's nothing to do with his ability. His ability's there. I just think he needs a fresh start somewhere else. That's all I would say. He just needs a fresh start elsewhere. I don't know. But the thing is, if Conte comes in, then he might turn him into a bad man. So
maybe.
He might turn him back into a bad man. Sorry, turn him back into a bad man. Yeah. So it really depends. I have that much faith in Conte. So it really depends. But I'm erring on the side of sell, to be honest with you. Just needed a fresh start. And I've got nothing against Dele, but he just probably needs a fresh start elsewhere.
Yeah, I hear that. Big Ron, Sessegnon went on to Hoffenheim. He had a good loan, to be fair. I will say that. He had a very good loan. And he's played left back. He's played left wing. If that's to do a makeshift, he played wing back as well. He's excelled very well, actually. And he's improved. So I think if he does come back from loan, as in it's not extended or doesn't go somewhere else, then I think this might be the season to give him a chance. There's no shame or harm in trying to blood young players that have shown potential, and he showed potential from very young at Fulham. So Lamela indeed scored the goal of the season contender with the Roberto. It's a beautiful goal, but he's not given enough in his years there to.
We lost that game anyway. We lost that game. Yeah.
He mentioned the name Danny Rose. I want to come to him after we do this because I feel like he deserves a bit more flowers than he's got. I mean, Spurs fans have been giving him flowers, but I feel like collectively, in terms of football fans, we talk about Danny Rose a bit more because all that's happening right now is just like in football. With Pep as well, they're doing the whole sort of because he lost that final and he tinkered again. That sort of defines Pep Guardiola, and they start calling him a fraud again. False. Just like Danny Rose, that conversation with Jose Mourinho does not define Danny Rose. We know what Danny Rose did at Spurs, so we're going to give him his flowers at the end of this. Tanguy Ndombele. Keep. I will say keep as well, but I have my reservations about him. I'm not going to lie to you.
One more season.
I'm with that as well. I'm thinking 6 months even. I'm thinking you better start the season on fire and continue that through to December. Because I'm not going to go on.
Ability wise, he's dope though, bro.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Ability wise, he's dope. He just needs to show the consistency, and he needs to show the He needs a bit more to his game. Because he's got
it's application.
Yeah,
For me, it's application.
Thank you. That's the word. Thank you. The application. He's just such a talent. You can't just say you can't just dash him on the scrap heap like a lot of Spurs fans have done. But I can't say no way.
And you know what? This comment here, what I like about Big Run, and a lot of people say this guy. I know Big Run knows ball, so well, someone told me that they hate that comment and that word, and actually I do hate knows ball. I hate that thing, but I know Big Run knows his stuff, and he is a student of the game. I should say is the right term. And the thing about Tanguy for me is on the ball, he is a baller. Off the ball, his application is poor. And when he was called out for that by Jose Mourinho, people get onto Jose for it. Okay,
I'm still here.
Jose Mourinho. Okay, no problem. Jose Mourinho was berated for that, but I feel like a lot of people are starting to slowly see. Because a lot of people don't tend to think about the off the ball and how important it is in football. You need to be good off the ball as well. You have to be phenomenal. But your application has to be there. But that's just me anyway. You did not have to tell me this, bro. Yusuf, I love you, but you did not have to tell me this, bro. You didn't have to do this to me.
Take him. Honestly.
You didn't have to do this.
Do you know what? Do you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say this, yeah. I'm gonna say this, right? I watched Harry Winks when he was young, yeah. An absolute bad man. I really thought he was gangster. He's come into the first team, and he's not like he's played as number 6. I said, all right, that's wrong, right? But the problem I think I have with Harry Winks is that, you know, he's just lost his confidence. He doesn't realize he's forgotten what he can actually do. Like I've seen it when he was young, but he's got the ability, but he seems to have forgotten what he can do.
Okay.
He's like, you know, you reminded me of like a better Tom Carroll. Do you understand? Do you remember Tom Carroll?
Yes.
Yeah, like a much more technically astute Tom Carroll.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, he's come into the first team, and I think he's been played in the wrong position, but also he's not done enough to really prove himself as a Spurs first team player. And I think I put a lot of that on him as well, because, you know, you didn't take the ball by the horns and do what I think you can do. So that's the problem there. But again, you never know. He can also go to another club and thrive. He could do that. You know, it's really up to him.
Well, this is what I was going to say, because I like that. Shout out Rayan. Loved Rayan as well. He's a real guy. I love this guy. I'm going to shout you in the DMs. I told you about doing a Liverpool podcast next week, so we will discuss that very soon. Big Run said Poch had a few players a punch above the weight. Winks was one of them. Not sure this is what United need. And when I think about Harry Winks, past and negative, I always remember one game. I know some players can have a one game thing, and you know that doesn't define them. Like I just said, one moment doesn't define a player's career or anything. But that game, I think Pochettino was still manager this time. When you beat Real Madrid at was it Wembley that time? You went at White Hart Lane that time.
Yeah,
at Wembley, and he had a phenomenal. I will say the word phenomenal. He was phenomenal in that game. His passing was excellent, and it's not the sideways, backwards that he gets criticised for. It was range. It was forward passes. It was finding players in pockets. I don't know. Maybe a move is what he needs. I don't know.
Yeah, but I've always, when he had that game, I said, this is the Harry Winks that I expected to see from a long time. You understand? But he never kicked on from there. Whose fault is that, though? Do you understand?
Yeah. All right, let's go back to the players. Højbjerg would be a keeper, I would assume.
Easy. He's getting unnecessary criticism from Tottenham fans towards the second half of the season. Like, people are really talking about he's crap and he's this and he's that and he's not good enough for Tottenham. He's tired. He was tired, man. We overused him so much, but that mentality that he's got that there, man. He's got that there. I like it, and I agree. You understand? Keep that guy, man.
Yeah. Big Run. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is not something I want to imagine right now. So, and it's not United podcast. It's not United podcast. So you know, and this is true also. Donny van de Beek did also have a great game against Real Madrid. He had many great games in the Champions League run, but he's not being played. So that's how
he should have come to Tottenham.
Tottenham. I agree. I think he would have thrived. I think he would have thrived in the midfield.
I wanted him for so long. From we were beating Ajax. I said him and Ziyech were like standout. And I said Donny van de Beek. It's criminal what Ole's doing to Van de Beek at this particular moment. But we digress.
Yeah. Gio Lo Celso.
Ooh.
Can I just say? I hate that word stan, but I will call myself a La Liga stan. I'm a Valencia fan in terms of Spanish football, and because I was living in Spain for 7-8 months, I was able to get La Liga TV, and you get to watch every game. The Premier League model that we have now, where you watch games 12-3, La Liga did that beforehand to make sure that teams could get more TV time to get money. So I was blessed enough to watch Betis, and Gio Lo Celso. He's a damn good player. So the Celso that Spurs have seen, I don't understand what's happened there. But anyway, you go. Why is it an up and down one for you?
All right. Number one, I wanted Fernandes and we got him. But again, I heard he was a great player. He was a good player. But the difference is, I just don't think he's a runner, right? But he runs straight lines here, right? I don't know. I don't see his passing ability. I don't see a passing range. I think he gets into good positions. He's a willing runner and he's industrious and he's energetic. But he wasn't what we needed. We needed a playmaker.
See, and Yusuf brings up this comment that he scored 16 goals for Betis in 18-19. And that's why I asked the question, because
he did. Yeah, I remember reading that he did.
Yeah, because again, I'm not even going to blame Spurs or the management for this. I think I'm very much an advocate of players taking responsibility for their own form, and I think we can all say, regardless of Mourinho's tactics, regardless of Mason Ryan, that's the wrestler, Ryan Mason's tactics, or anyone else that he may come under in management at Spurs next, whether it's Conte or someone else, his performances as an individual have been poor overall. And that's just the truth. So for a man that scored 16 in that season, and that is his standout season, he hasn't had phenomenal seasons overall, but that's a standout. What does he have to do to make you feel like I want you to stay? What player do you want him to become for you?
I just want him to become Giovanni Lo Celso that is effective for the team. Do you understand? I just want him to be. The thing is, he's like I said before, I feel he's, would I say limited?
Okay.
Like he's not going to provide a killer pass. He's not going to shoot outside the box. You understand? He gets into positions and he kind of barges his way through and bangs. I don't really know where he fits in. That's the thing. I don't really know where he fits in. I don't think he's a number 10.
He played more to the left, but that's Sunspot.
Yeah, so I don't see him as a number 10 because he hasn't got that passing. He doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's with him. I don't, bro. Like maybe the only reason I say keep him because he might be an alright squad player.
Okay,
but will he want that? I don't know. Impact sub, I don't know, but I just don't see him in the starting lineup week in, week out. I don't see it.
You've bought him permanently now, so haven't you? You made that permanent in January. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next player, Lucas Moura.
Keep. I was sell for most of this. I was sell till about January, February, probably. Because he's put in some decent performances. but I don't think he's a starter.
I can't lie. For me, I think you got to get rid of this guy, and I'm not talking about in like a season or two. I'm thinking this summer.
The thing is, if he goes, I'm not going to be screwing. But if you're asking me the question, he can come on and he's an impact sub, innit? He's not a starter. Yeah. He's not a regular starter, but he can come on and he can affect a game. His footballing intelligence is terrible for somebody of his experience, though.
Yeah.
Really. You know, that's one thing I will say. But he's really got... He's very energetic. He's got a lot of industry. He's industrious. That's what I'll say about him. He shows heart. But that's literally it. Do you know I wanted him at Spurs before he went to PSG?
Yeah. I wanted him at United before he went to PSG as well. I was a big fan of his.
Yeah, so was I. I'm disappointed at the Mora that we've got, but at the same time, he's always going to be a club legend for what he did Ajax against Ajax.
Yeah. That is a standout moment. But if talking from experience, I know it's not you, but for anyone that's listening that's a Spurs fan, I will say this: sentiment means jack.
Nothing. Exactly. Sentiment don't mean anything. I mean, I'm not being sentimental. I want to keep him. I'm going by sort of this season's performances. Like, I know he ain't been great, but he tries. I'd say an impact squad, because a squad is also very. Do you understand?
Very important.
Squad. Yes. Yeah, squad is very important. So he'd be a squad player, be a very good squad. He'd be a decent squad player. Do you know what I'm saying? But like, that's the only why I'm saying keep him. I'm not saying keep him and start him and think he's gonna set the world alight. But again, I'm thinking about the squad on top of that. So that's what I would say. Squad player, the Celso the same.
Okay. Yusuf saying that 3 goals, 4 assists. I believe that's Lucas Moura this season on 30 Premier appearances, because the Celso definitely hasn't made 30 Premier League appearances. The guy's injury prone as well. And yet WD he did almost join United, but United do as United do under Woodward and the Mandem.
Who almost joined United? Moura.
Yeah. Before he went to PSG, we were close to signing him, and we fumbled that. Son.
Come on. But Son without Kane is maybe a different kettle of fish. But we keep him. I'm not telling you to sell Youngmin's Son. You're mad.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would give him 1 more year. I would do the case of sell him too early before it's too late. I look at him and he's, again, one of the players that is just, when he is his day, and you can say that for a lot of players when it's his day, but there's obviously a level of quality higher than many other players. His level of quality is up here. He is one of the best players you'll see in the Premier League, but I just don't know if... I feel like he's a bit of a coward at times. I feel like when Spurs really need him, he can go missing. He's had his moments where he's stood up for Spurs, namely the second leg against City, for example, in the Champions League. But there's other moments where I'm like, you have disappointed. So that's and I don't know if he's the guy. I just don't know.
He's also greedy and he doesn't know when to pass. I'll say that he doesn't seem to know when to pass. We've squandered a lot of chances because he will take the shot rather than lay the ball off. He does that. Sometimes he's on a bit of headless chicken mode, but by and large, like at the end of the day, numbers don't lie, innit? So yeah, I'd keep him for at least 1 more season. Yeah, man.
Numbers don't lie.
I think he banged 20 in all competitions this season again.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
To have like 20 goal a season, man, in your team, like, that's crazy. So, and the link up with him and Kane was a madness for a large part of this season. But yeah, you keep him. You can't say sell him unless.
Quick question from Abdi. Because obviously we know that we're talking about the defense. Would you sign Christensen or Rudiger from Chelsea if you had a chance?
It's Chelsea, isn't it? My Tottenham head says, nah, hell no. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. I'm taking the low road on this one.
Fair enough.
Christensen, nah. Rudiger's better, but Yeah.
Okay.
Chelsea won't even sell him to us anyway.
No, he wouldn't. No, they wouldn't unless you paid a stupid Maguire fee.
Were we looking into Rudiger before?
I think you did some years ago, but
and this last year. They said hell no.
Was it last year? Oh, okay.
Last year, Spurs, hell no.
Okay.
And no Spurs fan wanted him anyway. So, but no, I don't. You know what it is? I just think we need. I'm not saying Rudiger's crap, but I just don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
we need younger, more dynamic. That's what I'd say.
I hear that. Abdi's saying, so Son is basically the Korean Marshall. I'll take this. Marshall wishes that Son was a Korean Marshall. That's what I'm gonna say to that.
Thank you. That's disrespectful, Abdi. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like I'm not even a numbers guy myself. Darren T knows I hate stats, but if you put them together, and you can do years close and the numbers are close and all that, I don't care. The level of performance standard in terms of seasons consistently, Son beats him, and that's what it is for me.
All Martial knows how to do is stand up and screw man and change wives. Yeah, that's
all. My goodness. Oh goodness.
Martial, my friend.
United fan speaking, I say if we're doing this for Man United, he's part of my soul list, and that's just what it is. Spurs wanted Rudiger because Lampard for his match. That is true. Lampard did for his match indeed, and now he's part of a Champions League winning team. Last season, Martial was fantastic. First season when he joined Man United, he was fantastic. Also, the seasons in between, not so much. Double D indeed. Disrespectful to Heung-min Son. I mean, I really don't have to say the next name. You know. Oh yeah, that's cool. I guess you were a United fan. But yeah, I don't have faith in him. One day we'll talk about him. It's not United show right now, but I'll talk about him one time. Harry Kane.
Sure. Please. The thing is, yeah, I'd love to keep him, but I understand why we've got to probably sell him.
Okay.
We've got to sell him. We've done him a disservice as a club. You know, I've spoken about it before tonight already. So we've done him a disservice at the club. Like I've got Harry Kane is one of my favorite ever Spurs players, and I've supported Spurs for what, pushing 40 years. So, like, but we've done him such a disservice. Like, I'd love to keep him. I would love to keep him, but I'm resigned to him going, to be honest with you.
And finally, because Bell's going back on loan, off from his loan back to Real Madrid, so that's a done deal. I think Ancelotti also mentioned his name and said that he can be an important player for us, which means he's a fan of Bell. And Bell was his manager. No, he was Bell's manager, when they won that first Champions League before that run happened, when they won 4 in 5 years. Yeah. So that relationship is there, and maybe he will bring Bell back. Carlos Vinicius. He's not permanent. He's not permanent yet, is he? Okay, so
because it's about £45 million.
Yeah, so are you going to keep him, or do you think it's just time to terminate the loan?
We'll terminate the loan, but okay. I like him. I liked him before. Like, you know what it was? I watched all these goals for Benfica before he came to Spurs. And he's a finisher. What French club was he at as well? He was there. I can't remember what it was. But he was
Carlos Vinicius.
Vinicius, yeah.
I can't remember. You signed him from Benfica, didn't you?
Yeah, but he was at a French club before Benfica.
I can't remember the French club he was at. France.
I think he was on loan. I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I watched 39 goals on Instat, the scouting platform, and I said, yo, this guy is the real deal. Like, you know, he can finish. He's not slow. You understand? I know he scored them. I know it was against Marine, but the finishes were quality. Quality finish is a quality finish. He didn't get a good enough chance at Tottenham. So I don't know what to say with him. I like him. But you can't pay £45 million for him. 15-20 million pound, I'd keep him.
Okay.
But I don't know if he could be our main striker. It's just, it's such big boots to fill, in it. If Kane goes.
It is.
So,
I don't know.
Oh, but I like him. I'll say that. Maybe for his own good, we sell him. We just send him back, and he goes to a different club, and he bangs.
You could. But I mean, he was prolific for Benfica.
He was. I like him. I like him, and that's what I'll say. I like Vinicius. I rated him. And I've been banging on about him the whole season. But I don't. If he's not going to get any opportunities at Spurs, then he might as well go.
Is this someone that would interest you?
No.
Not at all.
No. What did he do? Where did Everton finish? All these good for his eyebrows.
No, no, but he is a good player though.
He's getting on a bit as well. We need somebody. Yeah. We need younger. I'm sorry. We're not Everton. We're not Everton. We don't. You understand? Like, no, I wouldn't take James Rodriguez. I'm sorry, because also as well, quite a lot of that season he didn't perform.
Yeah.
He was nowhere to be seen. Look at what Colombia have said about him.
Yeah. They've sent him back away, haven't they?
Yeah.
He's not fit, and that's someone who is essentially one of their biggest names in
ever.
History.
Yeah, and that's what they said about him. So why would we go and take him at Tottenham? I'm not here for that, man.
I hear that. I think we've got one or two people that want to join us. So what we'll do is we will talk about Danny Rose. If they can join within the next minute or so, let them have their say for about 5 minutes or so before, because we've done this for hour 26 now.
Hour and a half,
yeah. So we'll go Danny Rose and then we'll try and Double D said he went Monaco. Can always depend on Double D to come true.
He did not do much. Thank you. Double D's the football encyclopedia,
Yeah.
This guy,
I love him. Conte has made that to become. Yeah, I think it's to do with the coaching team being limited by Levy and many other things. Maybe he believes that he's not going to be backed as much as he wants to be backed. But anyway, let's go on to Danny Rose. Has been released by Spurs. Towards the end of his Spurs career, it's been a difficult time for him. He's gone through a lot. He went on loan to Newcastle, where he's from. Found a bit of his joy for football back in that loan. But despite all that, I think he's been a wonderful Spurs player. For me speaking, for you as a Spurs fan, for someone that's seen him from his come up as a young guy, his debut when he's got that phenomenal goal against Arsenal, and the player he became for you when you had your Kyle Walker, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, and Rose backline. Do you think he gets the due respect that he deserves from the fan base, being Spurs, and then we go into the footballing community as a whole?
No, we didn't get the respect from Spurs towards the end. A lot of people love Danny Rose. A lot of people dislike him, Spurs fans, from what I see. I know he came out in the sun and he said what he said, and I cussed him for it at the time. I said, you might as well go then. But at the end of the day, yeah, and to be honest, yeah, Abdi's right? Like at the end of the day, like he scored a goal against Arsenal. Was afterwards we sent him on loan to Sunderland?
Yes.
Had a great season there. Came back, and he was the king of individual errors at one point. I remember going to Spurs games and he was just getting cussed, and you know what I mean, and people didn't like him and stuff like that. But you know what the thing is testament to his character, because he persevered and became such a bad man at left back.
Yeah,
honestly, such a bad man at left back. Like, he's had one or he's had one or two not great seasons. Coming towards the end, it weren't great, but the way he was treated was disgusting. He's allowed to say what he's allowed to say. He said it to Jose, and to be honest with you, we could have done with Danny Rose at the back.
Yeah,
we could have done with him as a backup. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you would have got a hard work. You would have got endeavour there. You would have got somebody willing to do his best. To put him in the under 23s and have him train in the under 23s is criminal. I wish him all the best. And remember that he's had these mental health issues as well. And, he's just very, very candid about what he, about what goes on in his life and stuff like that at the end of the day, but I think, he's a great, ultimately, he's a great player for the club, honestly. Great player for the club because he was part of that, that Poch team that, that were doing things. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I got nothing but love for Danny Rose. Yeah, sometimes I've cussed him, sometimes I've berated him, but I love Danny Rose. Prime Danny Rose. What I'll say about that, Abdi, is prime Danny Rose, right, is better than Regulon at this particular moment. Prime Danny Rose, like, he was hard, man. Trust me, he was hard. Danny Rose and Carl Walker on both flanks with Jan Vertonghen and Toby. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And we didn't win anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, come on. Danny Rose, man. Nah, Danny Rose, he wore his heart on his sleeve. But you know what? He loved the club. And the way we treated him was terrible. He's been there 14 years, no testimonial. Do they even bother to do testimonials anymore? Because the amount of man that are supposed to have testimonials and don't have them.
I haven't seen a testimonial in a while.
I haven't seen one in a minute. But he deserves one.
He was there well over 10 years.
14 years.
Yeah, he deserves 100%.
He gets all the, he gets all the ratings from me, man. He went through thick and thin. He took it. He came from the doldrums, and he came and he became, as Abdi said, the best left back in the country for a good couple of years. You understand? So, yeah, man. Come on.
Funnily enough, that is very, very true. I always talk about that. People talk about the third and the 2-horse race, even though Leicester literally ran away and no one's going to catch them.
Arsenal were top of that Christmas, by the way. But anyway,
is that when Welbeck scored the header, right?
I can't remember.
They beat Leicester 2-1. I remember, and that header went in, and they went crazy.
They were top of Christmas. We were never top in that season, but anyway, that's a whole different story.
But that Chelsea season, I always go back because I'm like, 86 points, and I'm not, again, I don't like the numbers, because the one thing I do agree with Roy Keane is, apart from this era where you hear people talk about 100 points and 98 points, Man United and Liverpool and Arsenal, Invincibles never got this many points. When you collect the medal, you don't sit there and talk to your people about, I got 100 points this year. You talk about, I won the Premier League. No one cares about the amount of points you get. So if a team wins the league with 79 points, who cares? The fact is they won the league and they're going to live with that for eternity, really. But that season, Spurs was so good. But Conte was the man to stop you winning the title. He was the only man that could stop you from winning the title. So that is an interesting point. That is a very, very interesting point.
That is why I am on my knees.
That is a very interesting point, actually. Welbeck scored that header on Valentine's Day. Arsenal thought they had it, then bottled it to United team full of. That's when Rashford came through. Yes. Now I remember we had Rashford, we had Varela, who we signed from Man City, this young kid that was never gonna make it, Wolfwick Jackson. That is a fair point. Yeah, personally speaking, for me, for Danny Rose, I remember, and it was one of the comments earlier, that United wanted him under Mourinho because the guy was. I think everyone knows that Mourinho didn't rate Luke Shaw. And Danny, and at that point, look, he had a major injury. But at that point, regardless of the major injury, Danny Rose was the best left back in the league, easily. And he wanted him because he saw a guy that was just sensational at that position. And we were heavily linked with him. Rumors were that we made bids and whatnot, but obviously they were rejected, case in point, because he stayed at Spurs. But man, I think what we need to do in this league is, we are in this era of, not only this era, it's always been a thing, but we admire. Actually, no, it's kind of a modern era thing. We admire attackers so much more and don't really give defenders their due credit. And within that time, he was given praise, but I don't think he was given the praise that he actually deserved in that run. to really be given the respect and all that. And that Double D saying someone like Marcos Alonso, also in that season, he was doing a madness also, but his madness was also on the base of him scoring shots. He had a shot on him. He could take set pieces. He was good at free kicks. So if Danny Rose was doing that, maybe they'd give him a bit more respect. But the guy was a supreme talent. I will say supreme. I'm going that far. I think he was that good. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out.
Dope, man. Danny Rose was dope, man. Going down the flanks, and he could defend as well. He was prone to an error or two, but at the end of the day, like, he was solid, man. Solid. Yeah. Such a hard-working defender, man. Solid.
Absolutely. Double D, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I will turn up. I know what United fans are like and what they're saying, and that's why Phil Jones has said that. But if he was to have a testimonial, I will turn up. It's respectful. At the end of the day, he's giving himself a United, regardless of his injuries and form and whatnot.
Has he really been there for 10 years?
Yeah, we signed him in 2010, 2011. No, 11, 12, sorry. His first season was when City won the league.
That long?
Jeez. Yeah.
I still think of him as a young player.
Yeah. Okay, now, before we finish off, he was in the comments, the Chelsea fan, Nupon wants to join us. So I'm going to let him join us now. I think it's his first time. Actually, it's his first time on the podcast. So we'll give him a warm welcome. Hello, sir.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good evening.
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm living life.
Yeah, you're still celebrating that Champions League win, aren't you?
Well, until the Euros, because we are shit when it comes to the Euros.
Yeah, so
when it comes to international tournament,
yeah, so we were talking about Chelsea. We were talking about Spurs. But we'll give you 5 minutes because we have to finish off. I want to talk about Chelsea quickly. Let's give Chelsea a bit of praise because I haven't done a Chelsea podcast yet, and this is a Spurs base. But you also had Conte and you had Mourinho also. What's the difference between the two for you that makes?
I think not much. Although I think Conte will do better with the players you have. I mean, he turned Marcos Alonso and Victor Moses into Premier League winning right backs. So, well, I'm not saying I'm not saying he's gonna win the league with you or anything, but if you guys do get him, you could make top four.
And if they were to make top four, do you think he'd be given? Or do you trust him? It's the question actually. Do you trust him to make the right signings to maybe push further into potentially a title challenge?
Yeah, maybe not a title challenge, but I do see you winning something Darren, I do see you winning something under Antonio Conte.
That's what we need. We need to start getting that, getting it over the line. Lifting those trophies, getting the feel for it.
Look, man, I don't know why there's a rivalry between us. I've never ever considered Spurs to be rivals. I've always considered them lot in N5 to be Chelsea's biggest rivals.
It's historic. It's really, really. It is historic, man.
Because look, every time at Stamford Bridge, there's always so many Chelsea fans singing, "We hate Tottenham, we hate Tottenham." Yeah. Look, yeah. I'm one of the very few Chelsea fans who doesn't have a problem with you guys.
Very few. You're one of the very few.
My biggest beef is with Arsenal. I've never had a problem with Tottenham.
Arsenal. Oh boy.
Yeah, nobody likes Arsenal.
All right. Exactly. Let me ask you quickly before we finish off, just about the Champions League win. Tell me your thoughts on that win, because I mean, not many people. I'll say no one. I'm sure someone somewhere said Chelsea could win it, but not many people thought that, especially going to the final against Man City, thought that you would win it. So give me your thoughts. How do you feel?
I was over the moon. I mean, I even said in a previous podcast, I was like saying we're not good enough to win the Champions League. We're not winning it. I said, I said if we win the Champions League, I'm going to dye my hair blue. So lo and behold, I have to find a hair dye that doesn't last because I don't want my hair to be blue forever.
I like that. I like that. All right, well, next.
Same way I said in the comment section.
What is it, sir?
Yeah, same way I said in the comment section, because I don't get where all these Chelsea... I'm saying I don't get where all these Chelsea fans are getting a delusion saying that we're getting Harry Kane. We're not. He's going to Man City or he's staying at Tottenham. One of those things. I'm actually begging Antonio Conte managers to keep hold of him so that the title is more open and City don't win it year in, year out.
No, yeah,
I think
go on, Darren T. So you go. So go on.
I do actually think Chelsea are genuine contenders next season. You know, they've got Tuchel. You've got the players already.
Look, man.
Just need a striker. You're a striker away from being contenders.
I've been saying this in so many podcasts. Now that Lukaku's off, we just need to unsettle Dortmund into selling Holland. They've been saying we're not selling him in this summer window. I think we just stick a price. They'll probably just be inclined to accept.
What price would you stick on him?
Whatever they want.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I like that. Okay. And your expectation for next season? What do you want to win next season?
At least a trophy.
Any particular trophy? Are you looking for
a trophy? I mean, that's. I'll say the Premier League's a bit unrealistic.
Okay.
But if we win it, fantastic. The FA Cup, I think it's about time we shut them lot in N5.
Yeah, he lost connection. Yeah, he's lost connection. That's okay. I think he's back. There he is. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on 3G.
Ah, okay. All right, then you know what, Nippon? We're gonna do a Chelsea show hopefully next week. You've now got your messages, so hopefully we can get you sometime next week on perfect Wi-Fi, and we will go in depth into Chelsea next season, the season prior, obviously, and your transfer dealings, and hopefully maybe Erling Haaland. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good. Just DM me on Twitter.
Okay, absolutely. All right, cheers, Nippon.
Speak to you soon, man.
Cheers.
Have a great night, man.
Yeah, the internet connection was a bit up and down. I thought we'd just try and see it through.
Yeah.
Double D told me to check my WhatsApp. Conte has major doubts about becoming Tottenham's head coach.
Yes, I'm hearing that. I've heard that already.
Yeah, and it's inclined to turn them down. We'll see what happens with that. But we have discussed them. One more question before we go from the comments. Yo, Kojo, as a United fan, what's your thoughts on people calling Rashford Rash Bandicoots, which is a play on Crash Bandicoot? I really don't know what to say to that. That's just painful. That's the best way I can describe it. It's painful. But anyway, Mr. Darren T, thank you so much, brother.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I know we've been trying for a little while to kind of get this one up and running. It's a damn shame Cahill's not here. Yeah, but now big up Cahill, big up you, big up Darren as well. You know what I mean? The original 3inMidfield.
Come on.
But yeah, honestly, it's always a pleasure and an honor to just talk about the team that I love in the sport that I love. Yeah, everybody hit me up on Mr. Darren_T, and just watch this space. Your friendly neighborhood football agent. Blessings, everybody.
Yeah, and trust me, he's gonna be making big moves in that. Don't you? Or that man like Endo saying he rattled you, but big up. This guy's a joker, honestly.
He didn't rattle, man. You could have come on for the smoke. I didn't see you though, brother.
Endo, I've missed the smoke. I've missed you in the comments though, so always turn up, man. It's always a pleasure to have you in the comments. Yeah,
if you want more smoke, you can follow me on Twitter, fam.
That's it. Come through.
Yeah, I'm here for the war.
That's it. But yeah, honestly, thank you, Nipa, for coming on as well. It was a short one, but hopefully we can get you on another time. Absolutely.
Big up.
But yeah, from me, Darren T, thank you so much. Obviously, it's always a pleasure to have you on. And yeah, just keep killing it in your agent game. And hopefully your club actually gives you a sign to smile about properly.
Please, I beg. I'm on my knees. Daniel Levy, Conte, I'm on my knees.
And everyone in the comments, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know it's very impromptu in terms of the way I tweeted it, but me and Darren T had this plan for a while. Just been a busy day. Everyone knows how life goes. But you can follow us on Twitter, 3inMidfield Podcast, as well as SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. That's where you'll find our 3inMidfield and 3inMidfield Podcast on YouTube. That's the number 3 in midfield as together. There is no space in that, and then space podcast on YouTube. You'll find us there, and subscribe to our channel. And anytime you want to come on, please, all you have to do is message that tells what club you support, and we'll make sure it happens. And this has been another episode of the 3inMidfield Podcast. Good night.